Welcome to this video on claiming author identifiers in Elements. Elements uses a range of researcher identifiers, including the ORCID, Web of Science Researcher ID, Scopus IDs, and email addresses to facilitate the claiming of publication data. Identifier-based searching improves document retrieval and greatly reduces the amount of time it takes for users and curators to process pending publications. If users are not seeing their publications in Northwestern Elements under their claimed publications, or are seeing too many publications under their pending publications, the automatic claiming may need to be addressed. Follow these steps to find pending author identifiers and claim known author identifiers for users in Northwestern Elements. Visit Elements at elements.northwestern.edu. Log into Elements using your NetID and password. Click on Impersonate Another User at the top of the page. Enter the desired faculty member's name in the Name Contains field using last name, first name. Note that the field Member of Group is set to Organization, which is the default setting that searches all active faculty and staff in each department, school, or office. To narrow the search, select the desired option from the drop-down menu. Note that the field Include Inactive Members is unchecked as the default setting and does not search the preserved profiles of faculty and staff who left Northwestern University since 2016. To include these inactive user profiles in your search, please check the box next to Include Inactive Users. Next, click on Set Filters. Click on the desired faculty member's name to impersonate them. Note, to stop impersonating a user, go to the top of the page and click on the X next to the impersonated user's name. Click on the menu icon in the top left corner. Under My Profile, locate the Settings list and click on Automatic Claiming. Under Do These Identify You, there may be a list of different data sources, identifiers, and email addresses. Elements will review the metadata in your claimed publications and suggest others for this list. For each identifier listed, click on Yes if the identifier belongs to the impersonated user. Click on No if the identifier does not belong to the impersonated user. If unsure whether an identifier is theirs, click on it to access the profile at its data source. Note, this is not available for email addresses. Click on Ignore if the status of the identifier remains unknown, but it should no longer appear in the list of potential identifiers. Claim the applicable identifiers and reject the rest until there are none pending. If the user has many pending author identifiers, you may need to refresh the page to see if any more are listed as pending. If a known author identifier is not listed on the Do These Identify You list, click on the desired database under Add External Profiles for ORCID, Researcher ID, or Scopus ID. Enter the identifier into the blank field, then click on Search to perform a search in the data source to verify if the ID belongs to the user. Please note that an ORCID identifier can only be manually added by entering the individual's ORCID username and password for system authentication. However, if the ORCID ID comes up on the pending list above, you can claim the ORCID without knowing the user's ORCID username and password. Click on Next. Click on Auto Claim Associated Items, then click on Confirm to save the identifier. This ensures new items associated with this identifier will be automatically claimed and allows the system to show this identifier on the user's profile. Email addresses can also be used to automatically claim publications. If a known email address is not listed in the Do These Identify You suggestions, click on the email address under Add Email Addresses. Enter the email address into the blank field and then click on Next. Click on Auto Claim Associated Items. Then click on Confirm to save the email address. This ensures that new items associated with this email address will be automatically claimed and allows the system to show this address on the user's profile. To manage claimed author identifiers, Under External Profiles, click on the Manage button to the right of an identifier. Choose a new option to change how the identifier is handled, then click on Confirm to save the setting. Click on Auto Claim Associated Items if the identifier belongs to the impersonated user. This ensures new items associated with this identifier will be automatically claimed and allows the system to show this identifier on the user's profile. Click on Auto Suggest Associated Items to send new items associated with this identifier to the user's pending list, where each publication can be individually claimed or rejected. This also allows the system to show this identifier on the user's profile. Click on Auto Reject Associated Items if the identifier does not belong to the impersonated faculty member. This ensures automatic rejection of pending items associated with this identifier. If publications associated with this identifier have already been claimed, click the empty box next to the first bullet point to also reject these items. If unsure whether an identifier is theirs, click on the identifier's link to check the profile at its data source. Note, this option is not available for email addresses. Click on Ignore this ID if the status of the identifier remains unknown, but it should no longer appear in the list of potential data sources. This ensures that no special actions will be taken when this identifier is seen. Click on Confirm to save the new setting. Rejected and ignored identifiers will move to the Not Mine and Ignored list, respectively, where they can be managed and moved onto the Mine, Not Mine, or Ignored list as needed. Thank you for watching this video on claiming author identifiers and elements. If you have any questions, please contact your liaison librarian or email ghsl-ref@northwestern.edu.